Yo, what's going on, CZN fam? I'm Sue, and in this video, I want to talk about the emergency live stream that was done earlier this morning for Chaos Zero Nightmare. So this was a half-hour stream that was hosted by the director. This is the CEO of Super Creative, the director Kim Young-suk. He does Epic 7 as well as Chaos Zero Nightmare, and it was to address a number of hot button issues in the Korean community surrounding the game. Now, if you are somebody who comes from the global audience, the big kind of hot button issues for us are the bad localization and the story just not being generally very good. But otherwise, everyone's having a ton of fun with the game. But if you look at the Korean community, it's kind of on fire at this point. There's accusations of AI being used to make the game. People are not happy with the business model. People are furious about the story because they feel like it wasn't dark enough. The quality isn't what they expected. There's rumors that the original writers and scenario writers of the game had left. They are saying it's pushing certain political and social agendas. And also they don't like the fact that the focal point, at least in the Korean version of the game, is not the commander or the captain of the SS Nightmare. It's actually the character Owen. So in the global version, the main character that you're playing as the captain, they are the self-insert. But apparently in the KR version of the script, you're kind of more like an onlooker, and Owen is kind of the primary character in the game, the one that everybody interacts with. And people are really not happy about that, and there's been a number of memes about that. Now, people have not been kind in the response to this stream, right? There's been some very, very toxic replies. If you just go and read the comment section of the stream, it's pretty rough. I'll link it down in the description. And again, normally I don't really cover this type of drama on my channel, but it's kind of gotten out of hand. And on top of that, it's going to lead to some, changes to the future of the game. So I felt like I have to really cover it, right? Like there's not really a way around it. As much as I like to shy away from talking about drama, if it's going to actually influence the game that we play going forward, kind of got to say something. But yeah, as you can see, some of the stuff that is said on this Reddit thread, they're kind of quick translations of stuff said about the stream. A special grade curse born from humanity's hatred towards one another, Kim Young-suk. You could go find that on the YouTube comments. A game director who comes to put out the fire but ends up pouring fuel on it instead. So you're saying nothing is resolved, right? He's just running away from the problems. Like, people are really, really not happy with his response. And so seeing this, I was like, okay, so what's the response? And as far as I could tell after an hour or two from the stream going up, all there was an AI generated summary that somebody posted on Reddit. And I tried to reach out to my one friend who's fluent in Korean, couldn't get a hold of him. So I was like, okay, I'm not just going to cover drama and not talk about the contents of the stream. But thankfully, in the influencer server that we are in, Infamous Jakey posted a quick translation, which I'll throw up on the stream for everybody to kind of see while I read it. Basically summarizing everything that is in the live stream. I will link Jakey's channel, by the way, down in the description. And seeing the head community manager respond to it saying, oh, okay, yeah, you covered everything. I'll make an official post about it tomorrow. It leads me to believe that it is pretty accurate. And we will get an official statement summarizing everything tomorrow that I'm talking about here in this video. But real quickly, I'll just read over everything that's in the actual stream so you could kind of be more informed, formulate your own opinions about the entire situation and the changes that are going to be coming from it. So first up, service and gameplay issues. Developers have acknowledged the unstable service, including payment errors and gacha-related bugs involving Prism Gacha and other issues. Other gameplay issues have negatively impacted the player environment. The development team has emphasized that they are working urgently to resolve all issues. As an apology, 10 free polls will be distributed daily for a set period. The CEO has stated, even if it hurts our sales, we'll take that risk. This is our commitment to keeping this game alive. On storyline and writing direction, and they wanted to apologize for an unsatisfactory tone and narrative structure. The main character has felt sidelined and disconnected from other characters. Relationships and player engagement through the story have been poorly handled. The CEO took personal responsibility, admitting that his interference limited the writers' creativity, leading to talented writers leaving the team. The remaining writers are working hard to rebuild the story from scratch. The MC, so your captain, will now be the true center of the story. Certain characters and scenes will be rewritten and adjusted. The main story chapters for 1 through 5 will now be remade and also fully redubbed with voice actors within the next 6 to 9 months, give or take. Global localization was also recognized as inconsistent and will be improved. Then he has a question and answer section where he answers community questions. On the MC's power and loop ability, frequent changes made the story very inconsistent. The new storyline will showcase the main character's full potential. On character relationships and coupling, they've acknowledged that the story gave the wrong impression of the characters' relationships. Future updates will allow better character bonding and development. On work environment and leadership, the CEO has admitted repeated over-involvement in the story caused harm to the development process, because essentially they were trying to meet a deadline and were trying to rush through it to meet said deadline. Feminist controversy. So this is what I was talking about with the political / social implications. This is like a very hot button issue in Korea. If you want to learn more, then you could go and look up the movement. I will not be talking about it or covering it here. So they have reiterated that the team does not support any ideological agenda. They promise content adjustments to ensure players could simply enjoy the game without such concerns. Character story translation, Rin. Localization inconsistency was a text error. The team will align it with the Japanese version and ensure parity in future translations. Affinity system. Currently, the difficulty is acknowledged, so this is basically leveling up your characters, getting them to bond 7 and 15 and 10 for those different quests. The first major update for the game will reduce this grind and make it significantly easier to increase affinity for the characters that you want to play, the characters that have the backgrounds. You'll be able to unlock them and get the stat bonuses and things so much easier, basically. AI art rumors, which we talked about in the intro. They addressed rumors about AI usage. The team assured that they are committed to transparency and quality control. BM, aka business model. Pricing model was based on being 30% cheaper than Genshin Impact, but they will increase event rewards to improve player satisfaction. So you'll be getting more pulls. It'll be easier to acquire currency is what I'm taking away from this. Chaos mode and gameplay improvements. Future updates will bring major system and mode enhancements, but they didn't specify what they are. Delayed response since launch. Developers were focusing on fixing critical launch bugs causing slow communication. They intend to hold more live streams like this one to listen directly to player feedback. This kind of checks because Vulcan and me and a number of other content creators have been talking about how social media response to things has been very slow. And I've been assured from the CMs that it's basically because everything is on fire for the most part. So the last thing that they closed the stream with was this quote that's, I guess it's a translation. It says, "My heart aches for the development team. Please don't be too harsh on them. The fault lies with me." This is the director that's saying this. "I won't run away. I'll stay and rebuild your trust. This is my promise to continue with Chaos Zero Nightmare." So that's pretty much the summary of everything that happened in the 30 minutes. Now, for my 2 cents, I do think that he is pretty genuine. They have learned a lot of lessons from situations like this in the past. To give you an example, I'm going to show you an archive stream from Tenha, which is a name you may have known or recognized if you've been in the Hoyo space before. So Tenha was originally an Epic 7 content creator before moving into Hoyo games. And he still has this archived here. And if you want to just go look through it, again, I'll link that down in the description. And you could see here, this was from a while ago, 6 years ago, but this face should look familiar to you. This is your director responding not to just criticism and feedback from the community in, online. This was essentially a town hall style meeting with various different people came to Smilegate to actually ask them questions. So like the people that are the detractors online all showed up in person to talk to them so that they could have a conversation about the direction of which the game was going. And I remember very vividly that some of the stuff that was said here is kind of, you know, is kind of rough. Like, some people really laid it on thick here. I always think that you should be at least polite when you're arguing or having stuff. I'm not saying these people weren't, but like the translations, I remember reading them not being particularly kind. Like I said, going back here to Reddit, some of these, the comments were not particularly kind. It's not really my, that's just my 2 cents. It might be just like a cultural difference thing. I don't really know. But the point is that from that feedback, it massively influenced the direction of how Epic 7, like the trajectory that it took over the next like 5 or 6 years. So I think that if you are enjoying the game, you should let it be known in the Discord servers, like the official Discord servers and through official channels that you're enjoying the game. Because I feel like the global community for E7 didn't speak up on things that we were fine with or things that we weren't fine with. And as a result, the game took a massively different direction than I think any of us really could have anticipated. But in the last year, this director and this team has done an insane job with Epic 7. They have basically addressed almost every single complaint that I had about the game. They basically made the game nearly perfect. Like, there's still like a content drought, and PvP balance is not great because of some promises that were made to the KR community back in 2019. But otherwise, like, everything is great in that game, and I've been loving it. And I've been loving Chaos Zero Nightmare. And seeing now that like this stuff is going to completely rework and change the story, that's like a pretty crazy thing to think about. My hope is that when they do fix it, it'll be really, really good. Because when they reworked E7's story for Epic 7 Origin earlier this year, it's phenomenal. It has like anime cutscenes, really great presentation, amazing voice acting. Writing is actually really strong. So I know that they can make a good product, right? I know that they can kind of make this right. It's just that people need to give them time to cook, basically, and not really jump down their throats. I don't want to like come off sounding like a shill, but I've been playing games that this company and this team have made for like 7 years. Some of the best memories I have are with Epic 7. And the one constant is that SG and Super Creative always find a way to mess things up, but they also always find a way to right the ship. It's not going to be perfect, right? Like, I think about Nikke when Nikke came out, and that game was like an absolute dumpster fire in the first month. And honestly, for a launch period, like, I knew there was going to be issues, but I don't really have much to complain about outside of localization. And then just the story just being generally underwhelming, especially compared to Nikke and like Arknights, which are like peak writing at this point, I feel like. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's it for the video. Let me know down below your thoughts on everything. I'm very curious how everyone else is perceiving this. Like, do you find any issues with the game? Do you agree with some of the sentiments that have been expressed, that were addressed in this live stream? Anything you want to say, would love to hear any and all of it down in the comment section below. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your week, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later now.